Well, hello there, folks. Welcome to this video. This video is all about how do you effectively, professionally, and efficiently take questions in an online environment. And essentially, in today's video, I want to talk to you about best practice, right? A lot of times people are out there doing some stuff online and they may be doing some stuff that may not actually be getting them the best outcome possible, right? So in today's video, I want to talk about three things, or even maybe four, we'll see how it goes, in regards to how to actually take questions and take them well in an online environment. In the offline environment or face to face, you can definitely, be a little bit more freer. You can get people to put their hands up and, answer their questions. How, freestyle the situation there. And it's a lot less, I guess, risky in how things happen there, right? But in the online environment, everybody is highly likely all muted. And also, you've got to be able to manage questions that are coming in, when they're coming in, and all of that fun stuff, right? But you've got to definitely be able to take the questions and be able to handle them effectively, right? So, first thing I want to suggest that you do, is as you are delivering your session, make sure that everybody is on mute. Make sure that everybody's on mute. That would be weird if everybody was unmuted, right? You definitely want to have everyone muted, okay? Next piece, in your rules of engagement or the session, I guess, ground rules that you're going to set up, highly encourage you to actually have a segment on how you're going to handle questions, right? So, questions, feel free to ask the question anytime. And the but is, if it is a question about what you are going through in that moment, definitely I want to encourage you to ask questions. If it's a question about your individual situation, then I want to encourage you to wait till the break time or wait till after the session, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into your situation there, right? Now, the next piece, which I also love to add to the rules of engagement, and this is the ultimate thing, this is the real thing I want you to take away from this video. You see, when you are delivering online, it can be very off putting if somebody unmutes themselves and say, and then you're like, what? Like when you've got your headphones on, or when you're delivering, or when you've got your microphone, if somebody suddenly unmutes themselves and says, or it just reverberates in your ears, and it's a little bit intense, right? So what I love to set up is in the chat, I love to say, all right, everybody, if you've got a question, drop a Q for question into the chat. And I encourage people to put a Q in the chat, then that lets me know that they've got a question they would love to ask. So I'll notice the Q and I go, oh, Bill's got a question. Let's just take a pause moment. Bill, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question, right? And that way, you're not going to get the in your ear. You're not going to get the crazy moment that's going to completely distract you. And it's good protocol. It's just polite, right? Bill's going to drop his cue in the chat there. You're going to come over to Bill. Bill's going to unmute himself, and he's going to ask his question. Now, that leads to the next point about question taking, question receiving, question answering. What you want to be doing is, if somebody asks you a question, say, Bill, that is an excellent question. I'm really happy you asked that question. Bill, before I answer your question, could you give me a little bit of background? Bill, what's created the question for you there, Bill? What's created the question? Now, this is a skill that I really talk about in my book, Advanced Facilitation Skills. You see, the really big thing is that when Bill is asking a question, you don't have all the information. And sometimes when you answer Bill's question, you may be a little bit off the mark. You may give him some detail, but he says, no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about is X, Y, Z. Or the reason I'm asking is the other day my boss said, right? And you need to make sure when you're answering Bill's question, you've got all the context that you need. And you need to be able to tailor your answer to Bill's question there, right? So highly recommend professionals always do the following. They always validate the question, and they always ask the question, Bill, what's created the question for you? Or Bill, could you give me a little bit more context around the question? What's brought it up for you, right? And when you do that, there is much more of a likelihood that you're going to get all the information you need to be able to tailor your response, right? And that's just one thing you get very good at over time. Don't be the amateur that goes, "Oh, the answer is X." It's highly likely they're going to say, "No, no, no, that's not what I'm talking about." Right? Professionals always dig deeper and excavate before they share the wisdom. Right? So the other thing that I'll just touch on in the online environment, if you have more than say 20 or 30 people on your Zoom or on your session, what you may want to do is have a co-host or somebody that is able to gather the questions for you as well, right? And that's maybe something that you put in the rules of engagement. And you may say, all right, folks, we've got a lot of people online today, and we do want to make sure that we have time for questions at the end. That's another strategy. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a co-host. We're going to have Mary that's going to be sitting in the background. She's going to be collating all of your questions. And at the very end, we're going to have 10, 15 minutes, and Mary's going to give me the questions, and I'm going to go through them methodically for you, right? So the strategy that it's going to depend on how many people are in your room as you are delivering your workshop or your training, so to speak, right? But I just want to really encourage you, as always, basics, have everyone on mute and set up the rule that if somebody's got a question, they drop a Q for question in the chat, and they can say, "I got a question." You come over to them and you say, "Bill, unmute yourself. Go ahead, share your question with the entire group." Don't fall into the trap of not setting this up, because occasionally you'll get people like, particularly if you're delivering and you're in the flow of consciousness or the stream of consciousness as you're sharing your genius there. Right? So anyway, folks, hope you got some value from the video. This is a bit of a tactic that I've developed over time that works really, really well. The other one you can add in if you're wondering, all right, someone's got a comment they want to make, you can also encourage people to drop a C for comment, and that can encourage them to share a comment. If maybe Frank's got a comment, he wants to make, he's burning to make his comment, so Frank drops it in a C, he unmutes himself. I just got a comment about what you've just said, or I've just got a comment about that thing you just showed on the slide. Frank can share his comment. Go, Frank. Anyway, hope you got some value from the video. Key things to take away: drop a Q in the chat, drop a C in the chat, or get a co-host to collate all the questions come through and deal with them one by one at the very end. Anyway, hope you got some value from the video. Don't forget, like, comment, share. Let's get the message out there with the standards of training face-to-face and in the online environment, because these small things become big things if they're not handled well. Thanks for watching, team, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.